Alright, let's just get this over with. Hey there, Pyromaniacs, I've been lost for a while, and I'm just trying to get back home, but right now I'm stuck in, Sonic, where are we?
Welcome to the Starfall Islands. Izuka thanked me for not killing him by blindfolding me and tossing me out of a plane, so now I'm on a new adventure in this open world.
Is this how your adventures usually start?
Oh, you would be surprised.
I mean, you'll get us out of here in no time, right? I mean, you're the fastest thing alive.
Nah.
Nah? What do you mean, nah?
I think I'll take this one a bit slower. You know, go rock climbing, solve a few puzzles, just go at my own leisure.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. Sonic, you never cease to find new ways to disappoint me.
Thank you.
That wasn't a compliment, let me explain. Last year I made a video talking about how I felt like the Sonic series could take some cues from Halo Infinite, in the sense of combining the best aspects of each of the different playstyles into one cohesive experience. And I used the fan game Sonic GT as an example of how this could be done. Despite how Infinite eventually turned out, I'd still consider this one of my better age think pieces, especially if you look back on my thoughts on Cyberpunk, yeesh. Well, in a way, Sonic Team's latest project does have some similarities with Halo Infinite, although the similarities make me a bit concerned. What am I talking about? Well, Sonic Frontiers is going to take this Agile Azure Aranasius into the open world. In itself, this isn't that bad of a concept, but the way they're going about it isn't exactly what I would expect from Sonic. Sega has been pretty stingy when it comes to footage, but even then we actually still have quite a bit of info on the game that has been either officially confirmed or inadvertently confirmed by official sources. That being said, from what footage we do have, it's clear that gameplay seems to be taking a lot of cues from Breath of the Wild, which in itself makes me worried that Sonic Team already doesn't fully understand the game they're trying to replicate. You see, whenever a game series has made the transition to open world, they've always boiled the series down to its core characteristics and used that as a base for how players interact with and traverse through said open world. Halo Infinite took Halo's vast weapon and vehicle sandbox of the older games and the advanced traversal mechanics of the newer games, and just gave you more space to play around with them. Pokemon Legends Arceus, although not true open world, took the monster collecting and battling of the classic games and melded it with some light stealth and survival elements. And Breath of the Wild is probably the best example of this, as it took Zelda's puzzles, combat, and sense of discovery and added on their own stealth survival elements to make for a really engaging experience that managed to resonate with people who had never even played a Zelda game before. I'm worried the Breath of the Wild style just doesn't necessarily fit with Sonic's core characteristics. But with that said, what exactly are Sonic's core characteristics? There have been so many different games in the series with so many different styles that you could easily make the argument that Sonic doesn't necessarily have any specific core characteristics anymore. Sonic's been a beat-em-up, a racing game, a brawler, a third-person shooter. It makes sense why people like to say the series has been having an identity crisis. But the thing is, while Sonic's games have had several different gameplay styles over the years, they all still tend to retain at least two qualities, even if they interpret them in different ways. That being speed as a reward, and at least some form of exploration. The exploration usually has something to do with that initial speed as a reward philosophy. May it be using your speed to access different, usually faster routes, or by using your reflexes to access different routes that allow you to obtain more speed. That being said, even the nebulous concept of speed as a reward varies a lot from game to game. In the Genesis and Dreamcast era games, speed as a reward is achieved through building momentum and memorizing the levels enough to be able to retain that momentum. While in the modern boost era games, speed as a reward takes a much more literal approach, through learning optimal routes that reward you with rings, wisp capsules, or enemies to increase your boost gauge that allow you to just go faster. I have both my problems and praises for both of these styles, but that's not what I'm here to talk about today. The point is that Sonic's core attributes can be interpreted in many different ways, and putting Sonic in an open world can potentially lead to even further experimentation and exploration of these concepts. So what does Sonic do in this open world? Well, he solves puzzles, does some light platforming, and bunches stuff, I guess. Once again, I reiterate, this doesn't feel like Sonic, or at least it doesn't feel like it fully realizes what Sonic could be in an open world. Sonic Frontiers seems to be further building on the boost formula that most mainline games have used since Unleashed. And while I enjoy most of those games well enough, I can't help but feel like it's a missed opportunity. As I mentioned in my last video, which I know you watched because look at those views, a lot of the fun of open world games comes from how you traverse the open world. Once again, Spider-Man has its web swinging, Grand Theft Auto has its vehicles. There's so many different ways you can make Sonic fun to maneuver in an open world, and one of the simplest examples of this is the aforementioned Sonic GT, which essentially acted as a massive physics sandbox, taking the momentum and level memorization of the classic games and bringing it to its ultimate conclusion. A game where you can go at an absolutely blinding speed and launch yourself to ridiculous heights if you're good enough. And if you plan your route ahead of time, you can pull off some seriously impressive feats. That being said, even this gameplay style has its drawbacks in an open world setting. These breakneck speeds could potentially make it difficult for you to truly explore the world at your leisure, which could make extra activities within the world hard to discover and potentially harder to complete. It would be really easy to get carried away and miss certain objectives. Not to mention, it can make precise platforming nearly impossible if done poorly. So what is the best way to put Sonic in an open world then? I don't know. Just throw the whole game out, I guess. Why does everything have to be an open world anyway? Elden Ring, Halo Infinite, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? What the hell is a Forspoken? Why do we need a Harry Potter game? Who asked for this? Sorry, I kind of lost my cool there. To be honest, I do have one idea. You could bring back the concept of multiple playable characters, but with a new twist. A major problem with Sonic as a character in most mediums nowadays is he's basically having to play every single role that in previous games would have been shared by the whole cast. An open world game is the perfect excuse to spread the load to multiple characters again, by giving each character their own niche when interacting with the world. For example, you can't tell me that you wouldn't love to see Knuckles gliding off those towers, or fighting some of these new enemies. At this point, you're probably thinking that this in itself is ridiculous. You think I'm proposing that Sonic Team design a whole open world, where they'll have to put into account exactly how every single character will interact with these areas, aka the exact same hot water they got into when designing Sonic Adventure. Well, not to worry, I have a solution. Look no further than the open world waifu factory itself, Genshin Impact. In Genshin, every single character plays pretty much the same in terms of movement speed and mobility, but what sets each character apart is their fighting style, their elemental abilities, and how those combined allow them to interact with the environment around them. Plus, you're able to swap between a set few of these characters on the fly, a little bit like another group of heroes I know of. But all this is pure conjecture, since none of this is the game we're getting. And despite my complaining, I actually think I'm okay with that. I've said in previous videos before that the thing I've kinda grown to like about the Sonic games is their unpredictability. Sonic is such a malleable character that you can do pretty much whatever you want with the series and he'll pretty much fit right in. And that can lead to everyone having their own ideal visions for what a perfect Sonic game should be, or what Sonic should do in certain situations. It's simultaneously what's fun and frustrating about being a Sonic fan. That being said, the story's probably gonna be pretty awesome since Ian Flynn is involved and—
I can't believe you!
What?
I tried to reinvent myself for the modern age, and yet you still talk down to me?
What? I actually thought I was being pretty constructive, all things considered.
I'm gonna kick you to the moon!
Oh, for the love— Well, on the bright side, at least I'm off the island. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, then leave a like and become a pyromaniac yourself by subscribing. Until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.